So I was sitting around thinking maybe I should do a video, or else you'll forget me. But whatever will I talk about? I'm super scattered. It's really hard for me to focus when I'm in the middle of revisions. Yes, another round. Plus, I've been looking at the lighting on my videos and it's been really crappy. This looks delicious. I don't know anything about lighting. I do know that I've got a really shit camera. Shit camera. So rather than turn this into just a long rambling video about nothing, which could easily happen, I have, mostly I have no qualms about doing something like that. I wanted to talk about humor a little bit. Not that I'll be particularly funny doing so. This topic comes up because I was reading Kathy Charles' John Belushi is Dead and ran into a specific passage, which I shall read to you now. Back in my day, actresses were elegant, refined. They were more than women. They were apparitions on the screen. We feared them, adored them. So you haven't seen Lindsay Lohan in Herbie Fully Loaded. Hank frowned. Today everyone finds it so easy to laugh at things. Everything's a big joke. Oh no, Lindsay Lohan is no joke. She's a terrifying reality. He tilted his head at me. There is something about you that is too familiar. You make jokes, but they don't come from a place of joy. A joke from the heart lights up an entire room. When you joke, there is no light. Your face goes dark. So I was thinking about that quote. It kind of stuck with me as I was reading it, and I had to reread it over and over again. And I think what resonates for me is that that's kind of how I feel. I think that most things I find funny, I shouldn't find funny. And I think that there's a level of shame involved in humor. I think people that do humor well are the people who can sort of access their own shame and kind of put it aside to be able to say things that may be offensive. I think people that do humor well are the people who are willing to put themselves out there in a way that it's possible that they could be hurt. People that do humor well are vulnerable. I think this is the reason why comedians have a tendency to do such good work when they cross over in dramatic roles. Humor is really about putting yourself out there in a way that is uncomfortable for both you and for the people who are listening to the material or reading the material. So what am I talking about here? Clearly I'm not talking about jokes or America's Funniest Home Videos style of humor. I'm talking about a humor that is sort of pervasive and is about tone and perspective and viewpoint and things like that. That's where my humor kind of comes out. I mean, it comes out just sort of naturally. It's expressive in the way that I'm expressive. I mean, I think that's what makes individual artists, writers, actors, whatever, I think that's what makes them interesting and unique. It's about knowing where it comes from. It's not that I don't need to be told that I'm funny in order to do it. I don't need that. I know where it comes from. I know exactly how it was built up in my life because I've absolutely taken a look at every single part of my life and what's those building blocks that have put me together as a person. And so I know where it comes from. And so then I'm much more comfortable spreading it out and putting it where it needs to be and finding balances and things like that. This video makes no sense. I mean, except that it kind of does make sense in that I think to be good at what you do or good at delivering information, whether it be through, some sort of visual medium or through writing or whatever, it's important to know yourself and know how you operate because when they say write what you know, they mean this stuff. This is what they mean. Know yourself. That's what you should know, not how to do something, I'm not going to be a doctor writing about being a doctor. I mean, I'm just not going to do that. That's not what it means. It just means know yourself, know where your information comes from. I agree, it sounds really vague and weird, but this is one of those things that separates the aspiring writers from the writers that make it work. And I don't even think that a lot of the writers that are published right now are aware that this is what they're doing. But it's a big piece of process, is that you need to be able to draw from stuff. I don't think it requires you to be older or more mature to do this. I think anyone can take a look at their life and really kind of figure out the building blocks of their personality. It's just a matter of doing it and understanding yourself and moving forward and being able to articulate what those things are and build them into character and excitement and plot and story and, or jokes or a humorous thread or anything like that. All right, I'm going to admit it. I ended up blathering. Just blathering on and on about nothing. But I'm certainly willing to talk about humor in the comments if you're into that.